you want them to go to Hanamura, where they were actually able to beat Reunited before? Don't you think they'd feel more comfortable there than a map they lost?
Well, I mean, they didn't. It was a dead close one, I think.
Well, it was the draw. It was the tiebreaker, yeah.
Actually, true.
Went down to you couldn't get any closer, honestly. But okay, let's talk about Dorado. Let's get into here because we've seen a couple of differences. We saw Reunited versus Fnatic, of course, on here earlier on. Reunited unable to finish the map. So I'm just wondering if Rogue was sat backstage watching this, obviously beating Envious,
right.
Going through against them on that, and thinking, all right, we're seeing what Reunited are doing, we're seeing how Fnatic are holding them, and we can do the same.
Fnatic's hold. I'm still not super sold on that idea. I think they just don't want the stalls blocking their line of sight and making sure they can see what's coming.
Well,
Very
okay.
super defensive.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Reunited's defensive hold. Obviously, we're going to see it around, but it was against Rogue we first saw it. They did exactly the same against Fnatic. We're probably going to see it again. But I guess that's for another round when we get there.
Yeah, nothing too exceptional coming out right now. Nothing too unexpected. They do, of course, have the Winston right out here. No Reinhardt from the attackers, which is something you typically see. They're probably going to have a very aggressive stance here. The Winston jumping in with the Tracer, focusing target on one person. Kids to follow that up as well. Definitely a very mobile team right here.
So the payload is approaching that first point. This is where we see a bit of a diversion in terms of where the attacking team is going. Now the question is, do Reunited stay the course? Do they keep the tiller straight and belt straight down the corridor? Well, they go around the left side. Looks like it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment, Lee.
Well, Winghaven using that pounce already. He's going to have to wait for the cooldown on that one. He's not going to be jumping in anytime soon. He's just trying to get a little help there from Cruz, but Cruz is getting caught out. Winghaven goes down instantly to Tvik, and this attack has stopped before it even begins.
Yeah, this is just a very bad engage coming out here from Reunited. I'm not exactly sure what they're expecting to happen. They need to have a plan coming in here, who they want to focus, but no room was given from Rogue. There was never an opportunity because, again, Reinhardt is so important on these points.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, this is that sort of, yeah, Reinhardt-less attack it was. Reinforced tries a drive-by on the Winston in midair, and Tvik just slams his shotgun up his rear end and says, have a bit of this, mate. Like, you can't get that close to a Reaper as a Winston and live to tell the tale.
Without a Reinhardt shield, I would have expected AKM's Deadeye to go a lot better than that. That was kind of a wasteful Deadeye. Now see Balataja, he's going to jump around the back. That possible catch is absolutely nothing. Don't even know where he was throwing it out there, hoping he could try and find out onto AKM, but he doesn't manage to get him. Winghaven goes down again to Tvik, and now with the tank down, the shield dropped, everybody from Reunited falls like a deck of cards.
And this is really a map, I think, or really a stage in a context where Tvik gets to shine on this Reaper pick. He always seems to be very assertive. He very much stands his ground here. He doesn't have to work around the sides on, you know, it's like a Genji. He can really just stand with the rest of the team and just keep pumping shot after shot. Body shots for Tvik, just easy as ABC.
They came in with the ultimate. They started that fight with the Zenyatta ult, but they were unable to find anything. They really didn't even waste any ultimates on Rogue side, which may be what they were trying to do a little bit. They have Lucio for another push. They have a big Zarya ultimate, but so does Rogue. And I'm going to favor them here with the big Graviton Surge actually coming down right now. Sound Barrier comes in there as well, and Unfix actually had a Graviton Surge of his own. He's going to back away and hold it, but now here, he seems to be content enough letting Rogue sort of impale themselves on Reunited, because now Reunited can come back into this one. Reinforced dies with an Earth Shatter here, and Unfix now wants to start the party off. It's a Graviton Surge coming away from Reunited here. AKM tried to hold on, but it wasn't enough.
Kim going off, and he doesn't even need his Dragon Blade. Manages to slice and dice his way through with the Shurikens, with the melee damage. And now at 2 minutes 30, Reunited will cap themselves at that initial point. It was an unusual one. No, Reinhardt coming in there for Winghaven, but now sticking with the Winston, he can finally actually challenge out on the top ground.
I'm glad to see now, if you're going to have a Winston, you don't do it instead of a Reinhardt, okay? You might have to sacrifice the Zarya, and that happens, but on a point like this where you want to be able to navigate, like Wins is right now, into the backline, it's important. Was Wins too deep? Perhaps not here, as Reinforced is considering whether he wants to go in on this fight.
The change from Balataja as well. He's gone over to that McCree. He was on the Tracer earlier on. You can see that Cruz getting picked up. Deadeye from AKM is going to find himself the target of Winghaven. Are we going to see the change? Are we going to see that shield? I feel we have to now we go into the church section.
Really, I'm just going to say disappointing fight. Oh, Kim taking advantage now. And gets kicked in the face by the Zenyatta for his troubles. He was in the backfield for so long, not really doing anything, not syncing up with his team, and nothing went his way.
This is actually gone horrifically wrong, because now they're trying to rush to get on the high ground. They're going to chase down. Winghaven gets in there. Balataja left clicks, takes Reinforced in the back of the head there, and the payload's going to move. And now Rogue are in this weird position where they're not able to hold the high ground, so they're just going into contest.
Yeah, well, all else fails, you better fire up the Reaper copter and get a bit of damage out there. Tvik, nicely done. Sure, Bit of a panic button there, I think, for Rogues. They were in stasis. They were trying to go back and get the high ground. They kind of got caught halfway through. But again, when you've got a Reaper and you can throw that down, no one really attacked Tvik. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, those are the plays we need it on Hollywood. Tvik needs to get a couple of kills there, make some space for team. That was so huge now that they're able to get back on this high ground. This hold wouldn't even been possible if Tvik didn't have a Q button on his keyboard.
Well, Rogue already jumped down from the high ground, except they leave the two squishy guys up the top side. And Winghaven, well, he'd like to have a word, I think, right now with that McCree. He gets knocked right across the pallet there. And now Kib going to be coming in with the Dragon Blade, pressuring now on towards the Winston. He has to put it away for the moment, but the damage being done here for Reunited because Valitaja up towards the side. He was playing a symphony with the Peacemaker.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff. Gets himself a flashbang at the end, and so many times we've been singing Valitaja's praises. This man has played games across countless titles and been champion in all of them. He is absolutely delivering once again for Reunited.
They're afraid to take this high ground right now. You can see them getting stuck in that stairwell. Kib alone was holding them back, but they're looking at the last second to try and jump on top of this. They definitely have a couple of ultimates advantage. He's not looking to find any high noon targets there until the last second. Waits it all out.
Patience pays there as well. He had to wait for that Winston bubble to dissipate, so instead he drops down and had a perfect little advantage to get that two-man Deadeye. He's going to follow up on towards Unfix there as well. Well, yeah, interesting to see Unfix actually going towards the Reaper here. Reunited, changing tact somewhat. 3 offense heroes are coming into the mix here. Valitaja, Unfix, and Kib all playing their Reaper, McCree, and the Genji here.
Absolutely. So Rogue holding strong. Only a minute 30 to go as well, and they go back to that high ground. It's this awkward situation whether they hold the left or the right. They're unsure which way Reunited are really going to test them. It looks like they're going to go underneath back through the church section. Reunited, looking at the X-ray, pretty splintered at the moment, so they're starting to regroup on the left side of the church. So we'll see which way they go here. Of course, Ulti's very much split at the moment. Unfix is going to try and find him, get himself in a decent position.
Rogue has positioned themselves exactly the way they need to. They take cover behind this building because they're on the complete opposite side of it on that high ground. Though the fight is going to take place around this cart, but the cart has even rolled back so far. They have Reaper underneath them right now, pushing on it, makes the Winston drop down. High Noon comes out to pressure them.
This is going to force Rogue to fight now as well. They're either damned if they do or damned if they don't. That payload is moving because Unfix was on it, but Rogue couldn't jump down. Cruz is going to now come forward now. The fight really starting off here. Wins the first one to go very low in this one. It's going to be a sound barrier for Reunited. Unfix is knocked on his butt though. Can't quite get the Death Blossom done, but Kib and Valitaja, you've got 3 offense heroes, Lee. Pick and choose.
Ulti's going left and right, and it's Reunited. They're going to come out on top. They're going to push on through. The payload point will make its final marker coming into this final section. Only 20 seconds on the clock, so it's going to be close to overtime before it even gets there. So they're still only looking at a potential distance as they move into this final power station.
Yep, no chance to contest though, and it would be a little bit of a time extension here for Reunited. Still, I love that. I love having Unfixed on the lower bridge, pushing the payload through while the rest of Reunited threatened from the left side of the courtyard. Rogue, it was a rock or a hard place, frying pan with a fire.
It's crazy as strong as Reunited looks right now. They only have 2 minutes left, and this is one of the hardest parts in the map right now. This stairwell right now where they dropped the gigantic Death Blossom, but so many Winston shields getting that eaten up. Nobody killed by it.
AKM being picked off so early is giving Valitaja the high ground. They can't compete. Now AKM finally back alive, but you can see Kib, Reinforce goes down, Nox goes down. They're splintered. The spawns are all over the place for Rogue right now. They need to regroup at some time because Reunited are on the surge of just piling on through, and Rogue have got to be careful they don't get wiped.
And this is free mileage for Reunited at the payload now. Rogue can't even peek out of hiding without a full 6 plays ready to go here. Keep up on the high ground. This is perfect for Reunited. They have the strongest position possible in this situation, and Kib has Dragon Blade.
Is he going to try and dive around the back? He's going to be looking for one of those juicy targets. Manages to get a glimpse of AKM. Valitaja tries to pull it out. The deflect is not going to happen. Tvik manages to take him down. That's a big kill. Wins comes through. The pin goes down, and that's Winghaven taken out. Wins gets himself in. And Rogue finally hold with a minute to go on the clock.
Yeah, that was definitely very impressive from them right there. They had no advantages in that fight. They were on the low ground. They were buying time for their ultimates. Only Unco really had a Zenyatta ult, and I don't think it did anything. They were being held back by that high noon, which they were actually able to stuff, and that's when the fight turned around in their favor.
Yeah, what a show of tenacity there. Like, if you look at it on the surface, they have no business winning that fight if they're Rogue. Reunited had the best positioning, they're the best setup, they're the best ult ready to go, but now they've at least managed to get that high ground back here. Reunited coming back in with a Dragon Blade and a Transcendence. They've got a bit to work with here, and the fight starts off. That's a very, very, very strange Earth Shatter coming out from Reinforced. He's quickly trying to get the heck out of dodge. He realizes he may have messed up, and here comes the Dragon Blade from Kib. AKM is in danger.
Support ult starts to run out, and kill feed starts to get lit up, but Reunited, you can see what Valitaja chiming in. Mont comes in as well. That's an ace. I don't think they're going to pull support back. That's going to get straight through. through. It's going to be a massive time, but it's going to be a time nonetheless.
Oh, they get across the line, Reunited. And the fans are on their feet here as well. Yet again, Reunited have some trouble finishing the map. It pretty much took about the same period of time there. That Earth Shatter from Reinforce, was that really what messed things up for Rogue there on that high ground?
I really don't know. They had so many problems that I just don't know which one to pick out there. It was definitely a rough fight. It took up until the last 7 seconds for them to be able to capture that. But if we look back to Hollywood, neither team technically finished that, right?
Yeah.
So we can definitely see this go either way. The first point hold here, I think, is where so much of it's very important here on Dorado. You can eat up so much time here, and if you don't, they're probably going to finish.
And let's go back to Reunited's defense. What we've seen the last 2 times against Fnatic and Rogue, previously, they go that crazy aggressive strategy, which bought them a full minute against Fnatic, and then they almost get back into position at the fountain. It's very risky, but if it pays off, it buys you a lot of time.
This is a strategy as well that Envy has actually pioneered. A very aggressive forward hold on the first point. So Reunited, you'll actually see them walk past the fountain area, past down around the corner. They will literally sit in front of the Rogue spawn, and they will fight them there.
Fight them on the payload, at the spawn.
And the thing is as well, is that Rogue, to get the payload close towards the first checkpoint, they need to kill Reunited. Reunited die a long way forward, and it gives them enough time to at least come back for another hold on this courtyard area if they do die close to Rogue spawn. So it's actually not even that reckless, it's not even that cocky. There is a little bit of rhyme and reason, I guess, to this.
Indeed, they get the respawn and get back in position just about. Now the question is, are they going to go for it? Because they're looking a bit edgy at the moment. You see Winghaven slowly slinking back away to the fountain.
I wasn't sure
this
if
seems
I
like conversations happen and they're like, let's not do it this time.
Yeah, they back up quite a bit, standing pretty far back at the fountain, having a pretty standard hold. We're not going to see things pop off too early here. And I want to say, we're seeing pretty standard team composition from both sides. I don't think anyone wants to risk a weird team composition, a weird strategy, when this is the $100,000 tournament Atlantic Showdown Grand Finals.
That's it. Yeah, the stakes are the highest they've ever been in Overwatch. And Rogue.
Interesting. So Reinforce was expecting that and immediately went back in and changed back to Reinhardt. He was already on the Winston, so he switched off already. Obviously expecting the same thing from Reunited, but going, okay, they're doing try and test it. Let's get set up, and now we're going to see a left flank, or they're just going to push straight up through the middle.
But they're going to push up for the moment here as well. Then speed boost coming out here, and they're going to come forward on it. AKM just ducking back a little bit here. Rogue, perhaps a word of caution from the captain, saying, Nox probably saying, guys, settle. Let's get into position before we start this fight off here. But now AKM, he's out for blood, he's hungry, and there's red in his eyes. He wants to get those kills.
Gets straight around the face of Winghaven, does a lot of the damage. Unko picks himself up the kill in the end, and Tavik chimes in, and that was a very simple attack from Rogue.
Reunited never had a chance. That whole fight was just slowly getting pushed back. Nah, I don't really feel like fighting right now. And by the time they were ready, they had lost too much health and they just got walked back by Reaper.
I mean, it took them a minute. I mean, bear in mind, we're looking at 8:53. That's where you want to buy yourself the minimum of 3 minutes on that initial point. It's a very hard first point to capture, and they've just given it up straight away. They're going to have to be so strong on this church section on the high ground.
This church section is not reliable, even for the top teams to actually buy yourself a decent amount of time here. So Reunited best be racking their brains to get some safe engages that give good results. It's very, very hard to guarantee that when you're literally jumping on top of the enemy and trying to beat their head in with whatever you can. Oh, AKM, nice try, but it's going to have to be next time.
Valataja comes in. That was a nice flashbang, like you say. Immediately will slow things down, but the payload's going to get contested. They don't want to give it any distance, but of course it does mean they don't have the high ground, and all they got was a single kill for that. So they're in a really risky situation. It's like, do we back away, get the high ground quick, or do we stay and fight?
You could actually see Rogue there delaying. They were waiting for that Reaper pick. They needed something to happen. They didn't get it. They're starting this fight off once again with Zenyatta in here.
Transcendence goes in and still trying to get into the action, but he's got a Dragon Blade. It might be up to the fact for Valutaja. Gives him a bit of a welcoming gift. It's a bullet strike between the eyes, and the Deadeye really rings true there and gets himself a third on the fight. And Rogue trying to get themselves airborne, trying to find good positions. Valutaja doesn't have time for that.
Winghaven on the cart, also dropping a 3-man Earth Shatter. They just got completely dominated. 2 ultimates took them out completely. But right now, we're looking at Rogue. If they don't get this point now, they're going to be disappointed. They have full stock of ultimates, and they're coming in hot.
Well, Unfix immediately dives straight in with the Primal Rage, tries to get things going. The Graviton Surge working. You can see Reinforce swinging away, picks his target, manages to find the opposition tank as he manages to get the kill down. Winghaven will drop, and you've got to feel the Rogue are going to charge on through. We're going to see Reunited getting the respawn kills in just a moment. Oh, but already this is going Rogue's way.
Classy stuff there from Twich, gets the deflect at just the right time. Can Unco stop getting kills here? It was a joke. It was supposed to be a funny thing back in the takeover where he counts how many kills he gets on Mercy. And now he's literally getting the most amount of kills or final blows in this game as Zenyatta. Insane.
Definitely seeing Rogue walk up pretty close here. Doesn't want them to get up on top of the stairs and take that high ground. They don't have any support ultimates, and so often we see this point stalled by those supports, but they're quite low on the percentages, and this push is just coming through. I'm thinking Rogue is going to have a pretty good advantage here. Hopefully they can take him out. AKM dropping the Death Blossom, finding one target. Crew's down already.
You can see the Transcendence running. Valataja has to find some kills and gets them. That had to work out for them. Reinforced down on the ground. Unco gets focused down, and Reunited do get the respawns and hold, but look at the position of the payload. We're only 3 minutes and 43 seconds into this. They have a full 5 more minutes to hold Rogue away from this final point.
Sometimes high noon, you can't find any targets. You think a fight's going to go away, but when you have that high ground, no one's contesting you. You're able to get that many shots off. Kib is on the ground. Death Blossom spinning. They used a lot of ults, but they're able to win that.
Twich just got picked up out of nowhere. That's going to slow things down instantly. Buy them time when it's vital time they need.
That was direct fire there as well. There wasn't even any smoke and mirrors from Valataja. It was just a lazy flick of the wrist and some left clicks, and that's good night. He must have caught him as he tried to go up around the side here, but you're dead right, Lee. Rogue, there's no point even trying or thinking of coming forward without the Genji on this side.
Well, he's going to have his Dragon Blade, but he's gone down again. Kib's just picked him up before the fight even began. He tried to go through the church, tried to get the flank, Reinforce goes in, but they're already one man down to the good. And this is Valataja getting the peek around, just cancels off the ult. He doesn't need to use it. Unfix cleans up.
High noon is such a powerful ult here, and again, keeping that 50% charge when you cancel it. Canceling it in itself, all you need to do is scare everybody. You have a sight line of absolutely every square inch of this playground, and Twich not being able to make it to the fight is a huge problem for Rogue right now.
Twice in a row, no less. Twich comes out of spawn, he gets smacked down on 2 separate occasions right after each other there as well. Reunited getting in his head, showing him who's perhaps boss here, but AKM would love to get in position to get some good shots down. For now, he's safe. That's a little bit close to cover, but he wants to fan the hammer up now as the Transcendence cuts in through the fight, and AKM still has some comfortable positioning. He's going to get positions for a Deadeye, but he can hear Valataja's coming out too.
Yeah, he's going to look around the side. Everybody has to run and hide. You can see AKM comes around the side. He only gets Cruiser with it. And Unfix, meanwhile, everybody's running and hiding. Unfix is having a whale of a time. That Tesla cannon doing some work. And Reunited hold once again. Now, we were talking about the time, 8:53. Sure. But they've only got 1 minute 30 to actually hit the point. They have to do that first.
That's right. If they don't get there, Rogue actually are on the time limit. You need to get this point, and then you can start thinking about the overall. 1 or 2 more fights is all that remains for Rogue. And even if they get there, let's not even get too ahead of ourselves. They have to deal with Reunited defending in the strongest part of the map here. So Rogue are going to have to come forward here. Twich does have Dragon Blade. There's also the Earth Shadow. Reinforce needs to nail this, otherwise it's all over.
Reunited were a little out of position at the start of this fight. They just ran straight for the point there. You can see trying to get around the side. Wins manages to get Valataja down. That big damage dealer being picked off at last by the Winston is going to work out well. Unco's going to get focused. Twich goes in. He's got his blade out and he's getting some sushi being picked up there. That's going to be Rogue pushing through on the point. Finally, now we're going to see the power station. What can they do?
The ironic part is Kib's actually a sushi chef, but the shoe's on the other foot and he gets a taste of his own medicine.
They're already starting a little bit of a skirmish here, making sure they can't take the high ground before the card even gets pushed forward. And again, can I state how even these teams have been? Reunited had the exact same problems pushing that point, and these times are looking nearly identical.
Ball getting picked off very early there, and that's going to give them the time. The door's going to go through. They're going to go close, and look how aggressive Winter's going. He's just jumping straight up. They're not letting him have the high ground. He goes looking for Valataja, manages to get the flashbang down, but the damage may well have just been done. Wins does go down, pays the price, but Twich is trying to hold them at bay. Reinforce finds Unfixed, and this is still a skirmish that's going on. Reunited not getting a chance to hold the point.
Deadeye coming out here from Valataja. He needs to try and shut down Twich. He's causing so many problems. He's not even using the front door. He's not even using the bell, for God's sake. He's just managing to disrupt all the squishy characters in the backline. And now the Dragon Blade comes out, but Kib gets him. Twich runs straight at him. Kib gives him a shotgun up the nostril and will send him back to spawn.
Fantastic stuff. It looks like Rogue are going to get picked off, cleaned out here, but it's not done yet. Wins comes back. He's respawned. The Winston is not done. Valataja goes down. Both damage dealers being taken down by a Winston. That shouldn't happen.
Scientific. They have one last chance to defend here. Reinhardt walking forward, Winghaven trying to get on the cart, and this is going to be it right here.
Can they do it? That's the question. You can see Rogue going to push around the side. Reinforce just backs away. Solid stuff. They know. Don't panic, guys. We've got 120. All we need. You can see the big, giant golden marker. Can they reach that final point?
Tantalizingly close here for Rogue, and they know it's within grasp. Another Earth Shadow. Not quite connecting, though. The shield was up there, but it's fine. Wins into Twich in the backline, and AKM has pole position up there. It gets the flash down on Ringhaven. Reunited. They're crumbling. They're falling. They're broken. They're down, and they are out. There's no no stopping this payload. And Rogue, get loud, reinforced. You've done good, son.
Phenomenal match. It took both teams quite a while to do it right up until the end there. But again, Rogue, commonly in this series, able to win by just a little bit, unless it's a King of the Hill map. Do you think we're going to be seeing a Reunited try and win another one of those?
Solid stuff, solid stuff. So, Rogue win out their map. My God, is it close between these two teams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what the analyst desk has to say about that one.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, something definitely caught my eye. No Zarya. We've seen Zarya picked in every single game in this tournament so far. However, now we're in the finals in this very game. She was lacking. Jason, why?
Yeah, so I think both teams really respect each other's Genji quite a bit. Twich and Kid both playing phenomenal Genjis throughout the entire tournament. And one of the greatest counters to Genji is going to be a Winston who can stick to you. They're not really depending on the Graviton Surge combo, but depending on a lot of these individual skirmishes that are happening around the map. And you even saw towards the end, Kid was like, all right, well, my Genji just can't really do much against this. When I got Twich and Wins to fight about, I have to switch to Reaper. And with Rogue winning, you saw the Reaper didn't work.
All right.
Yeah, finally switching over to Reaper after playing Genji almost the entirety of this game, or this whole tournament, actually.
Yep.
And another thing to call out is both teams actually took their turns playing with only one tank here on Dorado, which has become increasingly more common, actually. Both on attack and defense, we saw it different phases. But yeah, I mean, Winston on this map, so nice to get up to the high ground. That's really one of the things that Winston brings to the table, even beyond just killing Genji.
Do you personally feel that that one tank strategy works for the teams, or?
Well, we saw it. Envious actually running this quite a bit as well. It didn't end up working for them in the end. But, you know, it can work. It absolutely can. If you're able to use the map, use cover well, and you don't necessarily need all of that tankiness.
I think it's really interesting, too. It just seems like both these teams not only are evenly matched, but even during the hero picks, they're almost going exactly the same back and forth. And maybe that's just the European scene right now, because it seems like no matter what, as we touched on, Zarya, especially for the NA teams, we have like Cool Matt, a lot of great players that play them. So everything's evolving, and it's interesting because it's happening even now while we're in the tournament, step by step.
Well, now Rogue is up 2-1. What does Reunited have to do to tie this up or even win the series? What are they lacking, in your opinion, at the moment?
Well, if you look at the last couple of days of tournament, they're doing pretty damn well on all the King of the Hill maps, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see us go back to a King of the Hill, whether Nepal or Lijiang.
See, I want to see Route 66, because Reunited, I mean, they're one of the few teams that actually actively practiced it and was one of the teams that was pretty unbeatable on it. It's just whether or not they feel comfortable. Like I said, King of the Hill was pretty, may not have actually turned out to be one-sided, but it still felt pretty, it still looked pretty one-sided for the most part, when Kib just really wasn't dealt with. Him and Violet working really well together. But maybe throw in, you know, a payload map here again. You still have potential to another map if we can have Reunited take it, so you have another chance. But then again, Rogue gets to pick if Reunited does win the next.
I really think King of the Hill or Control Point. I don't think they can beat them on payload, and if they do, I think it would have to be something very, very special. Some curveball out of left field, because, I don't know, Rogue just have so much momentum.
Okay. I definitely don't see Reunited going for anything like the assault maps. You know, they are known for their standard gameplay, and those maps definitely bring out the crazy stuff. So probably not going to see an assault map, if I had to guess.
Oh, well, we will find out in just a bit, but meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about the two teams at hand. If we're looking at the players, their individual skill, if we have to be very nitpicky here, anyone you will point out at the moment who you personally feel didn't perform like the way you probably would expect him to?
I would like to pick on Reinforce. Again, we've been picking
now he goes
You've
back.
seen him, right? He's massive. Like, I wouldn't want to pick on him, and I'm like basically close to his height. It's insane. This guy's
I don't
scary.
mind. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of times he's out of position. A lot of times he's not coordinating with this team. He's the most hyped guy. Every time they win, we go back. He's just really pumped up, but at the same time, I think he's just too aggressive, and that's coming out in this play. You see his teammates; they're all calm, cool, collected, and if they lose, I would kind of talk to him and kind of bring him back down.
See, that's actually I like that you pointed that out, because that's why I'm liking seeing Wins playing the Winston, actually, because it doesn't allow Reinforce to be as aggressive as normal. Like we saw Winston before, really kind of overextending without getting some shields and not shielding himself and getting blown up. And then we have to talk about, I guess, the other end of that question, instead of nitpicking, I want to give credit to Wins to be able to go from basically playing Lucio the entire time, and yeah, he's had previous results in like Shoot Mania as a top player, but go from playing Lucio when we did see Rogue win their last tournament at TakeOver, and then transitioning to a flex player. Because Zarya took a lot of time to get going, but once he finally hit that stride, he's become easily one of the best Zaryas here in Europe. And then to switch over to Winston, which you look at, it's not that hard to play Winston, but it actually is to kind of have the game sense and the awareness of everything around you, which you do get from playing a Lucio.
And talk about the synergy between AKM and Wins. These guys played together in such a tight-knit way that every single time AKM's maybe playing Reaper or something like that, going for that Death Blossom. Of course, this is standard 101 Overwatch, but they are so synced together with Zarya always putting the shield on his brother when it comes time to do so.
So we've just been told the next map, it's going to be King's Row. What are your thoughts on that map now?
I think it's a tough pick. I think it's really tough. I mean, especially because you just already lost 2 payload maps, and now you're going back to that. I just feel like it's a big upset.
So Rogue will be playing on Defend. Do you guys feel like one of the teams has an advantage here or feels more confident?
Well, actually, Reunited has brought out the Hanzo on attack on this map quite a few times, and a lot of teams have trouble with this. Even a team like Rogue that is prone to bring out, Hanzo as well on this map as well, could catch them off guard, potentially.
Potentially, yes. Well, we will see if it is going to happen or not. Can Rogue take this home? Can they become the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown champion? Or will Reunited tie it up and bring this series to a 5th game? All that and more we're going to find out with our casters over at the casters desk.
Yeah, thank you very much. King's Row it is once again. So both teams love to run that Hanzo call.